Welcome to Horseshoe'n Time, filmed live at the Farriers National Research Center and School here in Villanelle, Georgia. Hey, if you want your horse to be active, whether it's showing, trail riding, or pleasure riding, he needs to be healthy, in good physical condition, and properly trimmed or shod. After all, a happy horse makes a happy owner. In 1989, Ralph Casey began using a high-speed video camera and an adjustable shoe to study how to make horses perform better and run faster without injury. Casey became the leader in the field of farrier science. His research sparked such an interest, a group was formed to build the first Farriers National Research Center in the world. The purpose of the FNRC is to continue the study of shoeing and balancing a horse, not only to make the horse perform better, but to stop some of the serious injuries created from improper shoeing. Today, Casey can make the horse perform better and run faster than ever before. Horse owners are fortunate to have access to the only Farrier National Research Center in the U.S. dedicated to the study of farrier science. And here to tell us more is our host of Horseshoe'n Time, Ralph Casey.
Hey gang, you know, trimming and shoeing horses can be one of the most rewarding things, and I think you're going to enjoy these tapes because we've designed these DVDs for a purpose and a reason, to get you involved in your basic fundamentals of trimming horses. Now, a lot of stuff that you're going to see may be confusing. I'm going to go over it. Everything won't be in a classroom because we've got so much to learn on this. And if you apply it correctly, and if you can't get it, if you're like me, you got to have a little hands-on, then we invite you to come down to the National Farrier Research Center and spend a couple of days with us. However, this should get you started because you're going to get the same basic things that I teach in a classroom, under the horse, and handling the horse while you're doing. So I'm going to give you a typical overview of what you're going to be learning. Now, one of the things you're going to get several DVDs, and because we can't do everything on one because it is long and drawn out. And you're going to be shocked when I tell you that the majority of the problems, and we found this out in the last 6 years here at the Research Center. This is the only research center that's studying farrier science, motion, and everything pertaining to shoeing and so forth. Now, you'll receive a booklet, and this booklet will have several things in the booklet. It will show the foot, the bottom of the foot. It'll show you the parts, and we'll talk about that during the whole, and you can use this as you're looking at the DVD or whatever. You'll probably want to look at it several times because remember this, we're not only going to learn where we're going but when we're trimming, but we're going to learn why we're going there. Because remember this, 80%, and we could say 100%, but we're going to say 80% of all the problems that's ever going to happen to your horse is going to happen in the feet. And of course, if you've got the most beautiful horse in the world, if something happens to his foot and he's lame, well, you're just out of luck, so to speak. But most of the damage we have found is all in the beginning, from the babies. Now, we have been taught over the years that you should start on a baby when he's a year or 2 years old. That's false. In fact, I encourage the farrier to go out even in the process of the baby being handled the first time. And that we call that imprinting. And I believe in that. And I think the farrier should be there, or whoever's going to be handling the feet, because here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. The most difficult thing, and horse trainers often leave this out, the most difficult thing to train a horse is to stand there and hold his foot up while you work on it, because a horse is just like you and I. They're afraid of falling. And so when you pick a foot up and start stretching it and try to get up under the horse, a horse is going to resist. So he has to be trained. A horse is a creature of habit, just like you and I. So the thing, I'm going to go through some of the fundamentals of keeping you safe while you're handling a horse. Of course, we got to do that under the horse. So that's going to be one of your learning experience. Number two, you're going to learn some of the anatomy, not all the anatomy, but we're going to teach you enough of what you shouldn't do. Because remember this, The tape is to get you started in your grammar school. And farrier science is something you're going to find a lot more to it than you ever dreamed. Because really and truly, to be a good farrier or a good trimmer, a person must understand a lot about the horse, because everything affects the horse's feet, because it carries the entire weight. And as we look at this chart, we can find the bony structure. And if we get looking at it closely, you'll find the feet is just like our foot, and I'm often calling foot instead of a hoof, is carrying the entire weight of the whole horse. So the bony structure is affected. So if you've got one heel higher than another heel, then you've got one leg longer than the other. And there's two ways to get the leg longer than the other. And we're going to get into a lot of this as we progress along. But first of all, let's get some more ideas and go back over what we're going to learn on these DVDs. One, we're going to learn why we trim a horse, what's the purpose of it, the main reason for it. And when we're trimming it, where exactly are we trying to get to? And then we're going to learn the safety of handling the horse and picking the foot up. Then we're going to learn a little bit about the structure of the horse, but we're going to learn a heck of a lot about the foot and the structure of the foot. Now, there's basically 6 simple steps to a horse's to get his foot correct and to make everything, the bony structure, proper when the foot strikes the ground. Because remember, we're trying to get the horse or the colt back just like he was the day he's born, except his foot's bigger. Now that's where we're trying to get to. The main reason for trimming or shoeing a horse is to keep the bony structure of the whole bony column in alignment. And you have to do that at the foot. And therefore, when the foot strikes the ground, the entire bony column of the horse equally absorbs a concussion.